Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about your solution delivery module. Now let's say you came up to your solution delivery module and you notice that the line coming from your barrel was empty, okay? And we wanted to reprime this pump and get the soap and the chemicals going back out to the car wash. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, because we haven't turned on the reclaim system yet, we haven't turned on the dryer yet, now's a good point to actually go over and you can actually step on the treadle plate, initiate a car wash, and this chemical pump will turn on. And once that happens, I'll show you exactly how to turn and reprime this chemical pump. Now, key thing you need to remember, do not ever turn either one of the dials on your chemical pump until that pump is actually on and running. And by you going over and stepping on that treadle plate, then you're going to actually feel this chemical pump going kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. Then you know that it's on. Then I'm going to step you through how to reprime that pump. Okay, so I'm going to go step on that treadle plate. Now I've stepped on that treadle plate and I can actually feel that pump moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn up the bottom dial to 100, top dial to 100, and then what I'm going to do is I will actually, on the top of this pump there is a bleeder bypass that I'm going to open up, and what that's going to do is when I open that up, it's actually going to start sucking chemical out of the barrel, back up to the pump, and once the chemical is through the pump, you're going to notice I have a return line. Once I see chemicals coming out of the return line back into the barrel, I can tighten down this valve, and now the chemical coming back out of the return line stops, and the chemistry is going to start going out to the machine. Okay? So, if my line is empty, turn the bleeder, open it up until the chemistry comes up, comes back down the bypass. When you see chemical come out of the bypass, you're going to close your bleeder. Chemical stops coming out of the bypass, goes out to the machine. Put your bypass line back into the barrel. Now, you got to remember, we have to put the chemical back to its original setting. So I moved it up to 100. With the pump running, I'm going to turn my small dial back down to 10. It was at 10 when we started, small dial. The big dial was at 100. Now, your car wash might be a little bit different than somebody else's car wash. It all depends on the chemical that you're running. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to bleed out your wax line and make sure that your wax pump is working properly. But in order to do that, we're going to have to initiate a car wash and we're going to have to break that photo eye. Broke that photo eye, but putting a rag over top of it, it thinks that there's a car there. You're going to take note of what your chemical settings are currently at. On this one, we're at 100 and 100. Here's our wax line. It's going out to the machine. This is our bypass. Again, if we didn't have anything going up here, we're going to turn on the bypass, open that up, and you're going to see how that line starts filling up. When it starts filling up, that means that the chemical is being drawn from the barrel, it's up into the body of the pump, and it's coming out of the bypass and going back to the barrel. Now that we know that the chemistry is up and in the pump, we can actually close that valve, close it down, And then if this line above were empty, you could actually watch it fill up and go out to the machine. Now before this shuts off, make sure you put your dials back to exactly where they were before, and then we're going to take off that rag on the photo eye. We're all done.